Hand washing. How are you going to perform hand washing? Is it like this? This? Or this? Hand washing is the most effective infection control. That is why we need to be conscious of how are we going to perform it properly, especially now we are facing pandemic.
According to Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, regular hand washing is one of the best ways to remove germs, avoid getting sick, and prevent the spread of germs to others. Whether you are at home, at work, traveling, or out in the community, find out how hand washing with soap and water can protect you and your family. Washing hands with soap and water is the best way to get rid of germs in most situations. Use plain soap and water to wash your hands. Studies have not found any added health benefit from using antibacterial soap other than for professional in healthcare settings. In 2016, FDA banned over-the-counter sale of antibacterial soaps that contain certain ingredients external icon because these soaps are no better than plain soap at preventing people from getting sick, and their ingredients may not be safe for long-term daily use. Some studies external icon have shown that using antibacterial soap may contribute to antibiotic resistance. If soap and water are not readily available, you can use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. You can tell if the sanitizer contains at least 60% of alcohol by looking at the product level. On the other hand, baby wipes may make your hands look clean, but they're not designed to remove germs from your hands. CDC recommends washing hands with soap and water when possible. Parents and caretakers play an important role in teaching children to wash their hands. Hand washing can become a lifelong healthy habit if you start teaching it at an early age. Teach kids the 5 easy steps for hand washing: wet, lather, scrub, rinse, and dry, and the key times to wash hands, such as after using the bathroom or before eating. You can find ways to make it fun, like making up your own hand washing song or turning it into a game.
According to World Health Organization, thousands of people die every day from infections that is acquired while receiving healthcare. Hands are the main pathways of germ transmission during healthcare. Hand hygiene is therefore the most important measure to avoid the transmission of harmful germs and to prevent healthcare-associated infection. This session will explain how and when to practice hand hygiene.
Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, especially after you have been in a public place or after blowing your nose, coughing, or sneezing. In addition, hand washing is one of the most important things you can do to prevent food poisoning when you are preparing food for yourself or loved ones. Washing your hands frequently with soap and water is an easy way to prevent germs from spreading around your kitchen and to other foods. But how germs get onto hands and make people sick? Feces or poop from people or animals is an important source of germs like Salmonella, E. coli, and norovirus that cause diarrhea, and it can spread some respiratory infections like adenovirus and hand-foot-mouth disease. These kinds of germs can get onto hands after people use the toilet or change a diaper, but also in less obvious ways like after handling raw meats that have invisible amounts of animal poop on them. A single gram of human feces, which is about the weight of a paperclip, can contain 1 trillion germs. Germs can also get onto hands if people touch any object that has germs on it because someone coughed or sneezed on it, or was touched by some other contaminated object. When these germs get onto hands and are not washed off, they can be passed from person to person and make people sick. For that reason, washing hands prevents illnesses and spread of infections to others. Hand washing with soap removes germs from hands. This helps prevent infection because: number 1, people frequently touch their eyes, nose, and mouth without even realizing it. Germs can get into the body through the eyes, nose, and mouth and make us sick. Germs from unwashed hands can get into foods and drinks while people prepare or consume them. Germs can multiply in some types of foods or drinks under certain conditions and make people sick. Germs from unwashed hands can be transferred to other objects like handrails, table, tops, or toys, and then transferred to another person's hands. Removing germs through hand washing, therefore, helps prevent diarrhea and respiratory infections and may even help prevent skin and eye infections. Teaching people about hand washing helps them and their communities stay healthy. Hand washing education in the community. It reduces the number of people who get sick with diarrhea by 23 to 40%. It reduces the diarrheal illnesses in people with weakened immune systems by 58%. It reduces respiratory illnesses like colds in the general population by 16 to 21%. And it reduces absenteeism due to gastrointestinal illness in school children by 29 to 57%. Not washing hands harms children around the world. About 1.8 million children under the age of 5 die each year from diarrheal diseases and pneumonia, the top 2 killers of young children around the world. Hand washing with soap could protect about 1 out of 3 young children who get sick with diarrhea and almost 1 out of 5 young children with respiratory infections like pneumonia. Although people around the world clean their hands with water, very few use soap to wash their hands. Washing hands with soap removes germs much more effectively. Hand washing education and access to soap in schools can help improve attendance. Good hand washing early in life may help improve child development in some settings. Estimated global rates of hand washing after using the toilet are only 19%. Hand washing helps battle the rise in antibiotic resistance. Preventing sickness reduces the amount of antibiotics people use and the likelihood that antibiotic resistance will develop. Hand washing can prevent about 30% of diarrhea-related sicknesses and about 20% of respiratory infections like colds. Antibiotics often are prescribed unnecessarily for these health issues. Reducing the number of these infections by washing hands frequently helps prevent the overuse of antibiotics, the single most important factor leading to antibiotic resistance around the world. Hand washing can also prevent people from getting sick with germs that are already resistant to antibiotics and that can be difficult to treat.
Any healthcare worker, caregiver, or person involved in direct or indirect patient care needs to be concerned about hand hygiene and should be able to perform it correctly and at the right time. It may be possible that a person can get COVID-19 by touching a frequently touched surface or object that has a virus on it, and then touching their own mouth, nose, or possibly their eyes with unwashed hands. Although this is not thought to be the main way the virus spreads, we are still learning more about how it spreads. Cleaning visibly dirty surfaces followed by disinfection is a best practice measure for preventing COVID-19 and other respiratory illnesses caused by the virus.
Microorganisms that are capable of causing infection disease are all around us. They can be even found in the things and places that we think are the cleanest. If our immune system drops, this pathogen may enter our system and may cause serious illness. However, transmission of these microbes can be prevented through hand washing.
Hand washing is the act of cleaning one's hand with the use of any liquid with or without soap for the purpose of removing dirt or microorganisms. It is the most effective measure in reducing the risk of transmitting infectious diseases. Washing hands can keep you healthy and prevent the spread of respiratory and diarrheal infections from one person to the next. Germs can spread from other people or surface when you touch your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. Preparing foods and drink with unwashed hands. Touch a contaminated surface or objects. And lastly, when you blow your nose, cough, or sneeze into hands and then touch other people's hands or common objects, can spread the germs from one person to the next. You can help yourself and your loved ones to stay healthy by washing your hands often, especially during these times when you are likely to get and spread germs. Before, during, and after preparing food, before and after caring for someone at home who is sick with vomiting or diarrhea, before and after treating a cut or wound, after changing a diapers or cleaning up a child who has used the toilet, after blowing your nose, coughing, or sneezing, after touching an animal's feed or animal's waste, after handling a pet food or pet drugs, and after touching a garbage. The guidance for the list of 3 times to wash hands was developed based on the data from a number of studies. These can also be other times when it is most important to wash hands. Equipments needed for hand washing. First, the soap, which you can buy at supermarkets or pharmacies in a bar or liquid form. Ordinary bath soap is not strong enough to kill germs, but it is remove them from the hands when it is lathered onto them during hand washing. For the second, plain running water. For washing soap off the hands and germs away, if you live in a cold environment, it might be a good idea to provide warm water for to wash your hands, while cold water is just effective in washing soap off the hands. Third, sink and taps, which will provide, then touch the drain the water used to rinse the hands. You should be able to reach the tap to turn it on and off and reach the stream of the water with the hand pointing down so that the rice water does not run down to your arms. Soap or hand wash dispenser. A container for the soap. If it is a bar of soap, the container should be designed to allow excess water to drip away. If it is for liquid soap, it will probably be a bottle with a pump dispenser attached, which deliver an appropriate amount of liquid soap. Next, disposable hand wipes. Wipes intended for a therapeutic purpose, such as killing germs on the skin or treating acne, diaper rashes, or other skin conditions, are dragged under the law. Next, the paper towels. To dry the hands after washing. They are important hand washing products, as if the hands are not dry, they are 1,000 times more likely to pick up germs again after they have been cleaned. Paper towels should also be used to turn the top off so the hand don't pick up germs from the top. However, if having paper towels in your home bathroom is not possible, bear in mind that although it is theoretically possible for dirty hands to contaminate the top, there is no proof that this is a major source of hand contamination. Just ensure you clean the top regularly, as you should others objects and surfaces that may be frequently touched and contaminated by dirty hands. Paper towel dispenser, which keeps paper towel clean while they are waiting to be used and allows them to be easily moved. Next, trash bin, which can be opened without using the hand, example, with a foot pedal, for disposing of use a paper towel safety. Dustbin are containers that are designed for holding waste till it is disposed of or otherwise removed. Moisturizing lotion or cream to rub into the hands after washing. This reduces the chances of skin irritation. This medication is used as a moisturizer to treat or prevent dry, rough, itchy skin, and minor skin irritation. Alcohol-based sanitizer. For use when you're out and about and don't have access to soap and running water. For example, you might use them at the park or during a shopping trip. And this is also called hand antiseptic or hand rub. Agent applies to the hand for the purpose of removing common pathogen like disease-causing organisms. Hand sanitizers typically come in foam, gel, or liquid form. These are the different equipments needed to avoid the transmission of COVID or viruses.
So I will be demonstrating to you the proper hand washing procedure.
Turn on the water and adjust the flow. Be sure to adjust flow so that the water is warm. Wet the hands thoroughly by holding them under the running water and apply soap to the hands. If the soap is liquid, apply 2 to 4 ml or 1 tablespoon. Use firm rubbing and circular movements to wash the palm, back, and the wrist of each hand. Interlace the fingers and thumbs, and move the hands back and forth. Continue this motion for at least 15 seconds. Rub the fingertips against the palm of the opposite hand. Rinse the hands. Dry hands and arms thoroughly with a paper towel. Turn off
has never been a greater focus on the health and well-being of the world's children. Yet, every year, 1.3 million children die from a disease that is preventable, diarrhea. Effective hand washing could reduce the spread of infectious diseases in children worldwide and reduce diarrheal deaths by 50%. However, just 19% of people wash their hands properly after going to the toilet. Poor hand hygiene is a major factor in the spread of diarrhea, and hands can carry up to 3,000 different types of bacteria. Proper hand washing, particularly at key times, such as before meals, after going to the toilet, and after playing outside, could help protect 1 in 3 children from contracting diarrhea. Effective hand washing and vaccinations are 2 of the best ways to protect against a range of infectious diseases. And the simple step of hand washing, using soap and clean running water, could prevent 1 million deaths per year, helping to improve children's health around the world.
Hi, Zand.
Oh, hello, Chris. What have you been doing? Making toast and jam. Would you like some?
Oh, I'd love some. I love toast and jam. Actually, no, I hate toast and jam.
Well, more for me.
Whoa, Zand, before you eat that, when was the last time you washed your hands?
Looking at them, I'd say fairly recently.
Well, I think it's time to wash them again.
Never mind that, Chris. It's time for Investigation Ouch. Every single day, your hands come into contact with all sorts of things, picking up a lot of bacteria along the way. But just how often do we wash our hands? Well, I'm going to find out using a special scientific tool called asking people. When was the last time you washed your hands?
Just before I left the house, which was probably about 20 minutes ago, maybe.
Oh, really? OK.
A couple of hours ago? Yeah.
At school.
When was the last time your dad washed his hands, do you think?
I think it was never.
You think he's never washed them?
Morning.
In the morning? What time is it now?
It's about...
It's late afternoon. So, maybe we don't wash our hands quite as often as we think we do. But why does it matter how clean our mitts are? Well, there are harmless bacteria on your hands, but your hands also play a crucial role in spreading illness. In fact, 4 out of every 5 illnesses are spread using your hands. Although you don't need to wash them all the time, washing your hands before you eat and after you go to the loo is very important, and I'm going to show you why. So, I'm gathering as many handprints as possible on a special jelly which will help to show what bacteria are on people's hands. That's brilliant.
Next, I want to take a second handprint after their hands have been washed in water to see if there's a change in the amount of bacteria. Finally, I want to see the difference soap makes. So I'm getting my volunteers to wash their hands with soap and water.
Okay, so you do the backs of your hands. Oh, you get your in between your fingers. This is an absolute masterclass in hand washing. What about a nice clean high five?
Now our samples head off to the lab, where they are put in an incubator set at exactly 37 degrees, which is the same temperature as your body. They will happily grow in this perfect bacteria breeding environment for 48 hours. Keeping an eye on our batch is virologist Rhiannon Lowe.
So Rhiannon, what have we got here?
Okay, these are the plates that haven't been washed. So we've got normal skin flora that we've been growing up. So we've got lots of Staphylococcus species, we've got Streptococcus species.
And that's kind of exactly what you would expect from a regular hand.
This is normal hand flora. You can see the 4 fingers and you can see the thumb.
Check out these furry fellas.
Like to smell?
Ooh,
Yeah.
that is a strong smell.
So these are bacteria that you might find on your hands after not washing your hands after going to the toilet.
Okay.
So they will be fecal bacteria.
Yep, that means poo, and these bacteria can cause food poisoning.
So can we have a look at the next lot then?
Yeah. A lot of people don't wash their thumb very well at all, so your thumb tends to have a lot more bacteria on them.
What, people just stick their
Yeah, just wash it
fingers
like that,
under
and
the
literally
tap,
the
but
thumbs
their
are
thumbs
sticking out like
away.
that.
So there's still definite handprints here. It's clear that water alone doesn't do much.
What about number 3 then?
Number 3, let's take a look.
Squeaky clean. Well, almost.
It's just a few sporadic colonies.
It just goes to show that using soap when you wash your hands is so much better.
There are bacteria on your skin that are actually doing you good.
So there's no need to keep your hands squeaky clean all the time.
But washing your hands with soap and water, especially before you eat, is a great way of protecting you from getting sick.
And remember, when you wash your hands, do it thoroughly. A good 20 seconds of washing with soap and warm water will keep your mitts clean, and don't forget your thumbs.
Every dish that is served to consumers involves receiving the ingredients, preparing them, cooking to serving the dish. Food handlers should practice good food and personal hygiene when handling food to prevent food poisoning from occurring. Harmful microorganisms that cannot be seen with the naked eye can be found on our hands. These microorganisms can be transferred easily onto the food we handle. When such harmful microorganisms multiply to high numbers in food, they can cause people consuming the food to experience foodborne illnesses. Washing our hands with soap and water greatly reduces the amount of microorganisms. This ensures the food we prepare is safe for consumption. Let us see how we can wash our hands effectively. Wet your hands with clean running water and apply soap. Follow these 8 simple steps to clean your hands within 20 seconds. Step 1. Start by washing your palms. Step 2. In between your fingers. Step 3. On the back of your hands. Step 4. At the base of both thumbs. Step 5. On the back of your fingers. Step 6. On your fingernails. Step 7. On both of your wrists. Step 8. And lastly, rinse and wipe dry. Practice these 8 hand washing steps when washing your hands. We will now perform a laboratory experiment to see the effects of proper hand washing. First, apply UV glow gel onto unwashed hands and place hands under UV light to see the glow gel illuminating. The gel simulates the presence of germs. Next, wash your hands with just running water and place the hands under the UV light again. You can see the presence of the residual glow gel left on the hands, which indicates ineffective hand washing. Now, apply the UV glow gel onto both hands again, but this time wash your hands with soap and water and carry out the 8 hand washing steps. When you place the hands under the UV light, you can see the amount of glow gel is greatly reduced. So washing your hands with soap and carrying out the 8 hand washing steps effectively reduces the amount of germs. Always wash your hands before starting work, before handling cooked or ready-to-eat food, after handling raw food, after handling waste, after cleaning duties, after using the toilet, after blowing the nose, sneezing or coughing, after handling money, and in between tasks. Remember, serving hygienic food begins with a clean pair of hands. All you need is 20 seconds of hand washing with soap and water. Let us work towards keeping our hands germ-free to reduce the risk of foodborne illnesses.
forgetting something? Wash, wash, wash your hands. Let the bubbles do their dance. Scrub, scrub, scrub a dub. Now you're in the Clean Hands Club.
Ito po nagtatapos ang aking kwento. Salamat po sa pakikinig. Hanggang sa muli.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie Jancy Magno, and I am here to talk about the summary of hand washing. To sum it all up, hand washing is the act of cleaning one's hand with the use of any liquid with soap for the purpose of removing dirt or microorganisms. It is the most effective measure in reducing the risk of transmitting infectious diseases. It cannot be said too often that hand washing is the most important and most basic technique in preventing and controlling infections, but it is the single most effective infection control measure. Hand washing is under the umbrella of hand hygiene. Hand hygiene is defined by the World Health Organization as a general term that applies to hand washing, antiseptic hand wash, antiseptic hand rub, or surgical hand antisepsis. Hand washing is more than just running water over your hands. It is the best way to prevent the spread of infections and diseases, such as colds, flu, food poisoning, etc. It's easy and it doesn't cost much, and it works. These are the following materials or equipment that are needed to perform hand washing. First, we need to have soap or detergent. Second, warm running water. Third, paper towels. Fourth, alcohol, and some optional products are antiseptic cleaner, fingernail brush, and plastic cuticle stick to remove excess dirt between our nails. Next, I will talk about the proper procedure when performing hand washing. First step is to wet your hands with plenty of clean water. Second step, apply soap and lather well for 20 seconds or longer if the dirt is ingrained. Third step is rub hands together rapidly across all surfaces of your hands and wrist. Fourth step, don't forget the backs of your hands, between your fingers and under your fingernails. And fifth step, if possible, remove rings and watches before you wash your hands, or ensure you move the rings to wash under them, as microorganisms can exist under them. Sixth step, rinse well under running water and make sure all traces of soap are removed. Seventh step, dry your hands using a clean towel or air dry them. Eighth step, it is best to use paper towels or single-use cloth towel. Ninth step, dry under any rings, as they can be a source of future contamination if they remain moist. And 10th step, use hot air dryers if it's available. And an idea at home is to give each family member their own towel and wash the towels often. This is to avoid any transmission of germs. Now, let's talk about the importance of performing hand washing. As we all know, there are a number of infectious diseases that can be spread from one person to another by contaminated hands. These diseases include gastrointestinal infections such as salmonella and respiratory infections such as influenza. Some forms of gastrointestinal and respiratory infections can cause serious complications, especially for young children, the elderly, and those with a weakened immune system. So the main purposes and importance of proper hand hygiene is that it can help prevent the spread of germs like bacteria and viruses that causes these diseases. It also helps to avoid pathogenic microorganisms and to avoid transmitting them.